round 2 through 7 guys that you think are interesting, and you had Nick Martin.
Yep.
Kind of like the Upton Stout of linebackers, like a little undersized, been around. Number 5 on your list. Why did you have him? Why did you have him there?
There's definitely a spot to start, right? With Dre Greenlaw now in Denver, and obviously Dre was banged up for a lot of last year. But there, to me, looks like an opening in that weak side linebacker spot in San Francisco. And Martin was an interesting player to evaluate this past year because he missed a bunch time with a leg injury. He missed like 8 games or something. And Oklahoma State's season fell apart. Anybody who follows college football knows this was the worst year in a long time in Stillwater. But Martin absolutely flies around. This guy, again, he's 221 pounds, but same thing with Upton Stout. Like the mindset clearly reflects a player who believes he's closer to 240 pounds. And I can't imagine there's a better mentor for a young linebacker in the NFL than Fred Warner. Fred's obviously going to cover up for a lot of the errors that young players are going to make. But Nick Martin, super instinctive, plays extremely fast to the football. Has some pass rushing ability as well. Back in 2023, the last full season he had in college, he had 6 sacks. The guy was making plays left and right for Oklahoma State these past few years. High character kid as well. I feels like the kind of guy that, to me, should not be a surprise if he's contributing right out of the gates in a starting role.
Yeah, I mean, which there's plenty of opportunity. The Niners have drafted, and those, D. Winters and Jalen Graham, past linebackers. If not, D. Winters got a big opportunity last year and hasn't filled the gap. I watched Nick Martin practice the other day. First, again, it's rookie minicamp, so it's mostly rookies and then like second-year guys, whatever. But practice very hard, going through the reps at a very high speed. The Niners have like their practice field's grass is very short and hard right now. And on one rep, he slipped and popped back up and was getting after it. So it was a shot. I loved the guy that's number 1 on your list here, which is Carson Schlesinger.
Schlesinger, what a beast, man. What a great story that is for a guy who, coming into last season, which was his 4th college season, but he redshirted as a freshman. So he's probably thinking to himself, I've got multiple years left at UCLA. Like maybe at some point I can start a game. He becomes a first-team All-American and the 33rd pick in the draft, a second linebacker taken behind only Jihad Campbell. So, and we saw the news yesterday from the time that you and I are having this conversation. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah for the Browns is going to miss all of this season. I think that the Browns kind of told us that when they took Schlesinger 33rd overall. There's some JOK in his game for sure.
You have player. Jordan Phillips from Maryland as one of your more to watch. I really liked him. There are a couple like interior defensive linemen I liked. Him. He was one. Yep. Jay Toia was the other. Did Miami get Jay Toia too?
He went to Dallas, I believe. Yep, Dallas in late round 6. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was a very interesting pick.
Maybe early. Tell you what, that guy, and obviously rest in peace Pac-10, but now Big Ten football, Pac-12 / Big Ten, excuse me. 2 years ago, Jay and the UCLA defense, I think they allowed 2.65 yards per carry on the ground. Like number 1, or maybe actually not number 1. I think it was 6th in the FBS. Like the guy's like he was a one-man run defense in the college ranks. So it's going to be harder to accomplish in the NFL, but that's just a whole lot of man. And I don't know, there's a lot of pass rush upside there, but perhaps a bit more. I talk about this all the time. Defensive linemen in college are sort of like what I describe with running backs in college, because in this regard, you can't always focus in on the defensive tackle pass rush production, because sometimes these guys are just not asked to do a whole lot of pass rushing at the college level. In the same way that, you'll look through these running backs and you're like, the guy had 8 catches last year and you tell me he could be a factor in the passing game. It's like, yeah, because he had 374 carries for 2,025 yards and 19 touchdowns. Like they just never had to bother throwing him the football. Ashton Genty caught the ball a ton 2 years ago. And then this past year, the production was modest because he had 2,600 yards and 29 rushing touchdowns. So Boise didn't really need to throw the football to him. So Toya, I have some optimism that it won't be like 1 sack per season, maybe get up to like 3 or 4.
You mentioned it. The other thing, and we're doing this obviously before the whole NFL schedule comes out, but from a 49ers perspective, it feels like there was real split between is it crazy to be optimistic, or you know, is the division's not great, but it's also not bad.
Right. That's the thing.
But their schedule, they have a lot. Their schedule is. We'll see what the order of the schedule is, and we'll see how many primetime games they end up with. You said health. I mean, the reason to be optimistic about them, I think, is just their schedule is it's fantastic. Like you're not going to get another schedule like this without
no
being
doubt
terrible.
about it. Listen, there's one silver lining to falling to the bottom of the division for a year. It's getting that fourth place schedule, right? Now, there are other teams that finished in the fourth place spot in their division that are saying, crap, we got to play the 49ers next year. But if you're the Niners and you can draw, like, just that means a game against the Giants as opposed to a game against the Commanders or the Eagles, right? Or if you can get a game against, I'm not sure the Bears. The Bears actually won't be a cakewalk this year, obviously. But
right.
just getting the Giants and what is it? Is it the Saints or the Panthers who they get in the South? The Panthers versus the Bucks. Like, that's a tougher task, right? Like, it's great to win the division as the Rams did, but like that also means that they're getting those games against the heaviest hitters in the conference, and the Lions, Eagles, and Buccaneers, as opposed to Bears, Giants, and Panthers. I think I'd take that latter slate every day of the week.
Yeah, we'll see, man. It'll be interesting. Like, do they still get the maximum primetime number? You know, like, do you end up in, but like,
probably not. I think no,
probably,
but I could be wrong.
You're going to get like a Bears Thursday night game, maybe a maybe a Monday Giants early.
Yeah, I could see that.
So you might have a prime game, and you could play every divisional opponent in prime time. But
possible. Right? Yeah.
Tennessee. I mean, they get some interesting matchups, but
anyway.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Field Yates, Nick Martin guy, putting his hammer down for Nick Martin. Love it.
Let's go, baby.
Thanks, bro.
Thanks, man.